Down from the heavens bearing the gift, it's Jometheus, and welcome back to Joe Draws a Gorl. It's the Gorl. You can see now the progress I made. So just a little bit with the hair, and kind of retouched the eyes a little bit in the face. Um, just to make it look a little bit more like there's kind of some dynamics to the light, like it's hitting her from the front and then kind of more shadow towards the back. Yeah. What did I leave off talking about last time? I think I just finished up talking about cartoons and comics, and I don't remember exactly. I think I finished talking about comic books. Um, yeah, around I think I'd say like maybe 2011, 10 or 11. Started getting into actual comic books. The like most entirely Batman. I actually, because I had always loved Batman, even from when I was a little kid. Like there's videos somewhere of me running around dressed as Robin, and my dad was dressed as Batman. Um, that was Robin for Halloween one year. Um, but what was I gonna say? But I never really put too much thought into that as having to do with my career and what I wanted to do growing up. Then as I actually started reading comics, um, was after I played the game Batman Arkham City, because I didn't play Asylum first, but very shortly after I played City, I was like, this is pretty great. So I started playing Arkham Asylum, the one before it, and they have a lot of like Easter eggs to his Batman's history, and like all the villains and stuff. And I became so infatuated with it because they build it up so well. It makes the world seem richer, that there's all these different things going on, and it makes so many references in game. It's just very well done as a whole. I think that game series. Um, so that put into my head that I wanted to. Okay, sorry about that. Had a little bit of a thing happen, so that's not related. Doesn't matter. Um, also noticed I'm wearing that same jacket, and before had that same issue for a whole hour. Luckily, it was only 2 minutes into the video. I was able to take that off, or zip it up so that it's not gonna hit against it anymore. As I say, and I think I was talking about the Arkham games. That got me into Batman again. DC pretty big, which in turn got me into the podcast Fat Man on Batman, one that Kevin Smith does, where he interviews, or used to. It's not the same thing anymore. But he used to interview people involved with the creation of Batman things like comics, video games. The TV show, he interviewed. One of the first ones he ever did very first one he ever did was Paul Dini from Batman the Animated Series, and then the second one I think was Mark Hamill, who played. If you didn't know, he, aside from being Luke Skywalker, he played the Joker for a lot of things, including the Arkham games. But listening to that podcast, in turn, turned me on to The Dark Knight Returns, which they talk about quite a lot, created by Frank Miller, who I named Grant after Frank Miller. I couldn't remember his first name, but it's Frank. And he ended up being a big influence for me, because that book is very, very well done. Delves into a possible alternate sort of future with Batman after he's gone, pretty much retired for several years, but then all the shit still going on makes him mad, and he starts being Batman again, which is pretty cool. I think... okay. Let me do this. Or... yeah, let me do it this way. I can go over here. Oh shit, I'm not recording the video. Whatever. At least I'm only doing these in like 2-minute periods at a time. No real damage is being done. Okay, there we go. Now recording again. Man, this wouldn't be a video of mine without there being a big issue of some sort. I guess I could leave the eyebrows going over the top. It's kind of an interesting style choice. I just got to make it slightly darker right underneath so that you can distinguish between the hair and the eyebrow. Yeah, like that. Kind of. No, I gotta fix that. I don't know. But the first comic I ever read by virtue of the fact that they talked about it all the time on Fat Man on Batman was Dark Knight Returns. It was very, very, very well done. Frank Miller wrote and did the art for that one. It's Batman retired for a while, and then he sees all the shit that's going on still, and he just sees had enough of it, and he jumps right back in, still just as fit, even if not even more so. He's freaking huge, and jumps right back into it, and kicking ass, taking names, and it's kind of thought of as like a final Batman story, because don't want to spoil too much of it if you haven't read it, just even though it's a very old book. It's like 80s, well, it's not very old, but it's older, as you've had a while to read it if you haven't yet. But I don't want to spoil it, just in case if there's anybody who's really wants to read it. I really recommend it. Or there's an animated version, you can just watch that. What was I gonna say? But yeah, that was very influential for me. I thought it was very, very well done. And I would include him in my favorite artists, if only for the fact that some of his art is very, very well done, and some of his art is very, very out there. Like, and it's either or. It's never in between. Like, it's either the best thing you ever seen, or it's like, what the hell is this guy showing me here? And it's never in between. It's not really ever an in between. But what was I saying? I was gonna say that ended up being one of my favorite books. I would say Superman for All Seasons is a very, very well written book. Also, that's Tim Sales and Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb's one of my favorite writers for sure, and Tim Sale does this very like crazy looking art. They've done a few books together, including like Batman Long Halloween. This is also a really good one, but my favorite thing from both of them is just said it, but Superman for All Seasons, which is a Superman book without much Superman in it. Like, it's mostly about Clark Kent's life growing up, and his dad, and just like all that kind of thing. And it does touch on Superman. Like, there's one of the books out of the 4 books. There's 4 books for all seasons, like, you know, summer, winter. It's just not my day to record. Oh well. I guess I'll just do a little bit and then finish it up. It is just not a good day to record, I guess. What was I saying? Or maybe I'll just lump this in at the beginning of the next time I record. I won't release this as one because this is going to be too short. Or I guess, yeah, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going nuts here. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, Superman, Long Halloween, Superman for All Seasons, Batman for Long Halloween. Listen to a lot of those, a lot of the podcasts. Fat Man on Batman, I haven't listened to them for a little bit, but I listened to them even up until this year, as they're still really interesting to listen to, even if they're not the classic format when it first started, which is my favorite thing. And I guess that's going to be it for today. Alright, short episode. See you later, bye!